Before you do anything else, my child, listen. Do not brush this aside. Do not tell yourself you'll come back later. Do not let this moment pass as just another message among thousands. There is an urgency surrounding this moment that you cannot yet see, and that is why I am calling for your attention now. This is an urgent call from heaven. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. You may have been waiting for a sign, asking for guidance, praying for clarity, wondering if I still hear you. You may have felt as though your prayers disappeared into silence. You may have searched for answers in places that only left you more confused. And when you were questioning, waiting, hoping, and hurting, I was still watching over you. I was still preparing this moment. Beloved, your eyes did not land here by chance. Out of every video, every distraction, every voice competing for your attention, something caused you to stop here. Something caused your heart to pause. Something inside your spirit recognized that these words carried a weight unlike the others. That feeling is not accidental. I know the burden you have been carrying. I know the thoughts that keep you awake when no one else is around. I know the disappointments you try to hide behind a brave face. I know the questions you have never spoken aloud because you feared there would be no answer. I have heard them all. I have been near through every lonely moment, every silent tear, every prayer whispered into the darkness. And that is why this call cannot be ignored. There are moments in life when a person receives information that changes everything. A warning that prevents a mistake. A truth that brings freedom. A direction that reveals the path forward. My child, you may be standing closer to one of those moments than you realize. If you leave now, you may miss what your heart has been asking me for. You may walk away before hearing the very thing that could bring understanding to your confusion, peace to your anxiety, or confirmation to your deepest prayers. But if you stay, if you listen with an open heart, you may begin to understand why your spirit has felt restless. You may discover that I have been speaking in ways you did not recognize. You may see that what seemed like delays were not abandonment, and what felt like silence was not absence. There is a reason heaven is calling your attention today. There is something I need you to hear before your next decision. Something I need you to recognize before fear convinces you to turn back. Something I need to place in your heart before the next chapter of your journey begins. So stay with me, beloved. Set aside the noise for a little longer. Let your heart become still enough to hear what hath been waiting for you. Because this urgent call from heaven is not meant for everyone. It is meant for you. And what I am about to reveal may explain why I brought you to this exact moment in the first place. I know how busy your mind has been lately. Even when your body rests, your thoughts continue moving, trying to solve problems, preparing for disappointment before it happens, carrying worries you rarely speak about. You have learned how to keep functioning while quietly feeling exhausted inside, and most people around you have no idea how heavy your heart has become. But I see it clearly. I see the pressure you carry when nobody is watching. I see the moments when you force yourself to smile even though something inside you feels worn thin. You did not arrive at this moment by accident. I know you may think you simply came across these words while going through your day, but I have been trying to get your attention for longer than you realize. Not because I want to condemn you or frighten you, but because your soul has been drifting deeper into exhaustion while pretending everything is manageable. You keep telling yourself you will slow down later. You keep pushing your emotions aside so you can handle responsibilities, survive difficult days, and stay strong for other people. But your heart was never designed to live under constant pressure without rest. I know there have been nights when you felt emotionally tired and could not fully explain why. Some pain inside you has remained unresolved for longer than you expected. Certain disappointments still follow you quietly through your days. You replay conversations in your head. You think about mistakes you wish you could undo. Sometimes you wonder if life will ever truly feel peaceful again, or if struggle has simply become normal for you. I understand those thoughts, my child. I have listened to every silent conversation happening inside you. What you feel right now is not weakness. It is the result of carrying too much for too long without allowing your spirit to breathe. You were never meant to hold every burden alone. That is why I interrupted your day today. I wanted you to stop long enough to remember that you still matter beyond your responsibilities, beyond your stress, beyond the version of yourself you show to the world. Your value has never been based on how much pressure you can survive. I also want you to understand that I have not abandoned you during the seasons when I seemed quiet. Even when you felt disconnected from me, I remained close. I protected you in moments you never noticed. I strengthened you during nights when you thought you were reaching your limit. You are still here because my hand has remained on your life even through the confusion. So breathe for a moment, my child. Let your heart become still enough to hear me again. I am not far away from you. I never was. My child, stop trying to convince yourself that you are fine when your heart has been quietly struggling for so long. I see how much pressure you place on yourself every day. You wake up already carrying tomorrow's worries before today has even begun. You answer people with calm words while your thoughts feel tangled inside. You try to appear steady because you do not want anyone to see how exhausted you truly are. But I have watched the hidden weight growing heavier on your shoulders, and I do not want you to keep carrying it alone. There are moments when you feel emotionally crowded even in silence. You sit in a room by yourself, yet your mind feels louder than a storm. Memories return without invitation. Regrets replay themselves. Fear whispers about the future. You keep searching for rest, but your spirit remains tense because you have been living as though everything depends entirely on you. Come closer to me now and let your heart loosen its grip for a moment. You were never created to survive by carrying every burden through your own strength. I know there are wounds you rarely speak about. Some came from disappointment. Some came from rejection. Some came from watching people change toward you in ways you never expected. Those experiences hardened parts of your heart without you realizing it. You became careful with your trust. You stopped expressing certain emotions because you grew tired of feeling misunderstood. Little by little, you learned how to hide pain behind responsibility. But hiding pain does not heal it, my child. Ignoring exhaustion does not restore your spirit. Listen carefully to me now. I am not asking you to pretend your struggles are small. I am asking you to stop carrying them in isolation. Bring your anxious thoughts to me instead of fighting them silently every night. Release the pressure you keep storing inside yourself. Let me step into the places where fear has been quietly controlling your peace. Open your heart honestly before me. Do not edit your emotions. Do not speak to me with polished words while your soul is hurting underneath them. Speak plainly. Speak freely. I already know what weighs on you. You keep thinking you must remain strong every second or everything around you will collapse. But strength was never meant to mean emotional silence. Real strength allows your heart to rest in my presence without shame. So breathe deeply now. Stop rehearsing worst-case scenarios in your mind. Stop punishing yourself for feeling tired. Let this moment become a place where your soul finally slows down enough to receive comfort again. I have not grown distant from you. I am standing near you even now, waiting for you to stop running long enough to let my peace enter the places where stress has lived for too long. Stay with me here, my child. Do not rush away from this moment. My child, I know there were seasons when you questioned whether I was still listening to you at all. You prayed about situations that never seemed to change. You waited for answers that felt delayed beyond understanding. There were moments when you spoke to me with hope in your heart, only to watch days pass without clarity, without relief, without the breakthrough you desperately wanted. Slowly, disappointment settled into your spirit, and you started wondering if heaven had become silent toward you. But listen to me carefully now. My silence was never abandonment. I was closer to you than you realized, even during the moments when you felt emotionally alone. You were measuring my presence by visible results while I was working in places your eyes could not yet see. There were dangers I protected you from quietly. There were doors you begged me to open that would have brought pain into your future. There were relationships I allowed to end because I knew the damage they would eventually cause inside your heart. You interpreted some delays as rejection when they were actually protection wrapped in temporary disappointment. I know waiting became painful for you. You reached points where your faith felt emotionally tired. Some nights you stopped praying with confidence because you feared another silence would follow. You looked around at other people and wondered why their lives seemed to move forward while your own heart felt stuck in uncertainty. Those thoughts weighed heavily on you, and I understood every one of them. I never became angry with you for struggling emotionally. I saw how deeply you wanted reassurance. Come closer to me now and release the belief that I forgot about you. Do not let disappointment convince you that your prayers were ignored. I heard every word, even the prayers you could barely speak through exhaustion. I stayed beside you during nights when you quietly cried yourself to sleep. I strengthened you during mornings when you did not even want to get out of bed emotionally. You survived those seasons because my hand remained on your life, even when you could not feel it clearly. I want you to stop interpreting every delay as evidence that nothing good is coming. Trust me enough to believe I can still guide your life even when you do not understand the timing. Lay down the bitterness that silence created inside you. Let your heart become soft toward me again. Open the places that disappointment tried to close. I am not distant from you, my child. I never stopped listening. My child, I know how long you have tried to fill the emptiness inside you with things that only comforted you for a little while. You kept hoping something in this world would finally quiet the ache in your spirit. You searched through distractions, relationships, achievements, entertainment, endless routines, and temporary pleasures, yet deep down you still felt something missing after the noise faded. You told yourself, maybe you were simply overthinking things. Maybe everyone secretly feels this disconnected inside. But your soul has been trying to tell you something important for a very long time. You were never created to live emotionally numb just to survive your days. You were never meant to drag your heart through life while pretending you do not need peace, closeness, or direction. I watched you trying to satisfy spiritual hunger with temporary comfort, and I understood why you did it. You became tired of disappointment. You became weary of carrying invisible pain. Certain losses left you emotionally restless, and instead of slowing down long enough to heal, you filled your life with movement because silence began to feel uncomfortable. Yet every time the distractions ended, the ache returned quietly to your chest. Come closer to me now and stop running from the deeper questions inside you. Stop pretending your soul is satisfied when your heart still feels thirsty for something real. You can feel it during quiet moments when life slows down unexpectedly. You can feel it after conversations that leave you empty instead of fulfilled. You can feel it late at night when your thoughts become honest and you realize how emotionally tired you truly are. That longing inside you is not weakness, my child. It is your spirit reaching toward the peace only I can give you. I do not want you settling for shallow comfort while your heart quietly starves for connection. Let go of the belief that temporary escape will heal permanent wounds. Invite me into the places where disappointment has hardened your emotions. Open the rooms inside your heart that you keep locked because you fear being vulnerable again. I am not coming toward you with judgment. I am coming toward you with understanding, patience, and restoration. Sit with me for a moment and breathe deeply. Release the pressure to constantly distract yourself from what you feel. You do not need to perform strength in my presence. Bring me your honest thoughts. Bring me the exhaustion you hide from everyone else. Let your spirit become still enough to recognize that the peace you have been searching for is not far away from you. I am already here, closer than your anxious thoughts, closer than your fears, waiting for you to stop chasing empty things long enough to receive something real. My child, as you begin opening your heart to what is real instead of what only distracts you temporarily, I am calling many of you to help carry this message to souls who are silently starving for peace tonight. There are weary hearts scrolling through darkness right now, praying for one sign from heaven that they are not abandoned, and your support becomes part of the answer I send to them. Every seed you sow through super thanks, membership, or your PayPal offering becomes oil for the lamp that keeps this mission burning before countless wandering souls. Did I not say, "Give, and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over"? I am still speaking those words over obedient hearts today. When you give with compassion, you are not losing. You are planting into a harvest of healing, restoration, and eternal impact. I see those who respond quickly when I place generosity upon their spirit, and I release favor, protection, multiplied provision, and unexpected peace over the hands that sow faithfully into my work. If your spirit feels this tugging now, do not ignore it. Act immediately through super thanks, become a member, or send your offering through the PayPal link waiting in the video description, and help my voice reach the hearts that desperately need me tonight. My child, fear has been speaking into your life more than you realize. It has shaped choices, influenced relationships, interrupted opportunities, and slowly convinced you to stay emotionally guarded. Sometimes the fear was obvious. Other times it sounded reasonable enough that you accepted it without questioning where it came from. You called it caution. You called it protecting yourself. But underneath it all, fear kept teaching your heart to expect pain before joy, disappointment before hope, rejection before connection. I know why this happened. Certain experiences wounded you deeply. Some people broke your trust when you least expected it. Some seasons left you emotionally shaken in ways that change how you view the future. After enough disappointment, your heart began preparing for hurt before anything even happened. You became careful with your expectations because you thought lowering your hope would protect you from heartbreak. Yet fear has exhausted your spirit while pretending to keep you safe. Listen closely to me now. I do not want you living every day bracing yourself for disaster. I do not want your thoughts trapped inside endless what-if scenarios that steal your peace before life even unfolds. Fear has a way of making tomorrow feel heavy before tomorrow even arrives. It keeps your body tense and your mind restless. It whispers that you must stay in control at all times or everything will collapse around you. But come to me honestly and release that pressure from your shoulders. You were never meant to carry life while constantly preparing for the worst. I know there are moments when your mind races late at night. You replay conversations. You analyze possibilities. You imagine outcomes that have not even happened yet. Then your heart grows tired from fighting battles that only exist inside your thoughts. Step away from that cycle now, my child. Breathe slowly and let my presence interrupt the storm inside your mind. Invite me into the anxious places you keep trying to manage alone. Do not allow fear to become your compass anymore. Stop letting old pain dictate every future decision. Trust me enough to loosen your grip on the constant need for certainty. You cannot heal while living emotionally clenched against life itself. Open your heart again, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. Let hope breathe where fear has been suffocating your peace. I am not asking you to ignore wisdom or pretend challenges do not exist. I am asking you to stop surrendering your emotional freedom to fear every single day. Walk with me instead. Bring your worries to me before they grow into mountains inside your thoughts. Let my peace teach your heart how to rest again without constantly expecting something terrible to happen next. My child, there is a version of you that nobody around you fully understands. People see the part of you that continues showing up, handling responsibilities, answering messages, going through routines, and trying to appear steady. They hear your polite responses and assume your heart is doing better than it really is. But I know what happens after the conversations end. I know the silence you sit in when nobody else is around. I know how many thoughts you carry that you never speak aloud because you are tired of feeling misunderstood. You have become skilled at hiding your emotional struggles behind normal behavior. Sometimes even you forget how much pain you are carrying because survival has become automatic. You learned how to continue functioning while quietly feeling disconnected inside. You smile during moments when your spirit feels exhausted. You reassure other people while secretly wishing someone would notice that you also need comfort. Come closer to me now and stop pretending you must handle all of this alone. Lay down the mask you wear for the world and bring me the honest condition of your heart. I know the memories that still follow you into quiet moments. I know the regrets you replay when your mind refuses to rest at night. I know the insecurities you hide beneath confidence. There are wounds inside you connected to words people spoke years ago, and although you rarely mention them now, those moments still affect how you see yourself. You became cautious with your emotions because disappointment taught you to expect hurt where you once expected love. But listen to me carefully, my child. Your pain may explain your fear, but it does not define your identity. Stop speaking to yourself with cruelty when you make mistakes. Stop assuming your weaknesses make you unworthy of peace, love, or purpose. I do not look at you through the harsh lens you often use against yourself. I see someone who kept going through storms that could have destroyed them emotionally. I see someone who survived lonely seasons without completely losing their heart. I see strength inside you that you rarely recognize because you focus so heavily on your flaws. Open your heart honestly before me now. Do not filter your emotions to appear stronger than you are. Let your tears come if they need to. Let your exhausted thoughts rise to the surface instead of burying them deeper. I am not uncomfortable with your broken places. I move toward them with compassion. Sit with me for a while and allow your spirit to rest from performing. You do not need to earn my closeness by pretending you are fine. I know the hidden version of you completely, my child, and I have not turned away. Stay near me now, and let my love reach the places inside you that nobody else ever sees clearly. My child, your heart has been running on empty for longer than you admit to yourself. You keep pushing forward because life demands your attention every day, but deep inside, your spirit feels tired in ways sleep alone cannot fix. There is a difference between physical exhaustion and the kind of weariness that settles into your soul after carrying stress, disappointment, pressure, and silent anxiety for too long. That deeper exhaustion has been growing quietly inside you, and I do not want you ignoring it anymore. You have spent so much time trying to stay strong that you forgot what it feels like to simply rest emotionally. Even during calm moments, your thoughts remain tense. Your mind races ahead looking for problems before they arrive. You replay conversations. You anticipate conflict. You carry emotional weight into places where peace should exist. Little by little, constant pressure became normal to you. But normal does not mean healthy, my child. Survival mode is not the life I created you to live. Come sit with me now and release the pressure to hold everything together perfectly. You do not need to manage every outcome. You do not need to predict every possibility before it happens. Let your shoulders relax for a moment. Breathe deeply and stop carrying tomorrow before tomorrow arrives. I know how often fear convinces you that resting means falling behind. I know you worry that if you stop pushing yourself, everything around you may collapse. But your soul cannot heal while living under non-stop tension. There were moments when your body kept moving while your heart quietly begged for peace. You ignored your emotional limits because responsibilities felt urgent. You told yourself you would slow down later, yet later never seemed to come. Meanwhile, your joy became weaker, your patience thinner, and your mind heavier. I watched all of it happen, my child. I saw how exhausted you became while trying to appear capable in front of everyone else. Listen carefully now and let these words settle deeply into your spirit. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to step away from constant emotional strain. You are allowed to admit when your heart feels overwhelmed. Real strength does not come from endless pressure. Real strength grows when you trust me enough to stop carrying burdens I never asked you to hold alone. Invite my peace into your thoughts tonight instead of rehearsing fears in your mind again. Let me quiet the inner noise that keeps your spirit restless. Stop treating your emotional exhaustion as weakness or failure. Your soul is asking for care, not punishment. Stay close to me here, my child. Let this become the place where your weary heart finally begins to breathe again. My child, I know there are losses you still carry quietly in your heart. Certain endings hurt you more deeply than you expected, and even now you sometimes replay those moments wondering what you could have done differently. You think about relationships that changed, opportunities that disappeared, plans that collapsed, and doors that suddenly closed without warning. At the time, it felt cruel and confusing. You asked why things were falling apart when you were trying so hard to hold them together. You searched for answers inside yourself and often blamed your own worth for what happened. But come closer to me now and listen carefully. Not everything that left your life was meant to stay. Some things had to break apart because they were slowly breaking you from the inside. I know you wanted certain people to remain beside you forever. I know you imagined different outcomes for parts of your future. Yet I could see what you could not see at the time. I saw the hidden damage forming beneath the surface. I saw the emotional exhaustion growing inside you while you kept trying to preserve things that were draining your peace. You mourned the loss because your heart was attached, and I understood that grief completely. I never mocked your pain. I stayed with you through every sleepless night, every aching memory, every moment when disappointment settled heavily on your chest. But my child, hear me now. A closed door is not always punishment. Sometimes it is protection wearing painful clothing. Sometimes what feels like rejection is actually rescue unfolding quietly beyond your understanding. Stop torturing yourself with endless questions about why certain people walk away. Stop convincing yourself that every broken connection happened because you were not enough. Some people were only assigned to a chapter of your life, not the entire journey. Your leaving does not cancel your value. Their inability to remain faithful does not define your identity. Release the burden of trying to make sense of every loss through your own limited understanding. I want you to loosen your grip on what already ended. Let the past stop sitting like a stone inside your spirit. Invite me into the grief you still carry privately. Bring me the memories that still tighten your chest when they return unexpectedly. Do not harden your heart because life disappointed you. Stay soft enough to receive what I am still preparing ahead of you. You cannot step fully into healing while constantly staring backward at what fell apart. Lift your eyes now, my child. Trust me enough to believe that I can still build beauty from seasons that once looked ruined beyond repair. I am not finished writing your story simply because something painful ended. Stay with me and allow your heart to heal instead of remaining trapped inside old heartbreak. My child, just as I have been healing you from what fell apart, I am also using this message to rescue others standing in the middle of their own breaking season right now. There are people listening whose hearts are hanging by a thread, wondering if heaven still sees them after loss, rejection, and disappointment crush their hope. This is why I stir generosity inside those who hear my voice clearly, because every act of support becomes part of lifting another wounded soul out of despair. Your super thanks, your membership, or your PayPal gift becomes like living water flowing into dry places where hearts are desperate for comfort and truth. Have I not declared that those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed? I am watching the obedience of every giver, and I am releasing strength where exhaustion lived, open doors where fear lingered, and provision where lack once stood. Do not treat this moment casually, because some assignments from heaven arrive disguised as simple opportunities to give. So now into this mission through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the video description, and become part of the healing I am sending across the earth. My child, there are moments when the harshest voice in your life becomes your own. You replay your mistakes with painful detail. You revisit failures long after the moment has passed. You speak to yourself with a level of cruelty that you would never use toward someone you love. I hear the thoughts you keep hidden behind silence. I know how often you question whether you are doing enough, becoming enough, or healing fast enough. Deep inside, you carry pressure that nobody else fully sees because you learned how to criticize yourself quietly. You hold yourself responsible for things that were never completely within your control. You blame yourself for relationships that changed, opportunities that failed, seasons that became difficult, and emotions that still feel unresolved. Somewhere along the way, you started believing that every struggle must mean something is wrong with you personally. But come sit with me for a moment and release that exhausting burden from your heart. You are not meant to spend your life punishing yourself emotionally. I know you wish you handled certain moments differently. I know there are memories that still make you cringe when they return unexpectedly. But constantly reopening old wounds inside your mind will never heal them. You cannot grow while remaining chained to endless self-condemnation. Give yourself permission to be human, my child. Healing is not always neat. Growth does not happen in straight lines. Some lessons take time to settle deeply inside your spirit. Listen carefully to me now. I do not look at you through the lens of your worst moments. I see the full picture of your life. I see how hard you tried even during seasons when your strength felt weak. I see the battles you fought internally while still continuing forward. I see resilience in places where you only notice imperfection. Stop reducing your entire identity to the moments when you struggled most. Come closer to me and let your heart rest from constant self-judgment. Stop demanding perfection from yourself before allowing yourself peace. Release the belief that you must earn rest by becoming flawless first. A day will never come. You are already loved while unfinished. You are already seen while still healing. You are already worthy of compassion while still growing. Open your hands now and surrender the shame you keep carrying from yesterday. Invite my voice to become louder than the accusations inside your mind. Speak to yourself with gentleness instead of punishment. You do not need to spend another year fighting yourself internally. Stay near me, my child, and let me teach your heart how to heal without hatred toward yourself. My child, one of the quietest traps in your life has been the belief that you must become better before you fully come close to me. You keep telling yourself that after you fix certain habits, after you become emotionally stronger, after you overcome every struggle, then you will finally feel ready to rest in my presence without shame. But while you wait to become perfect, your heart keeps drifting deeper into exhaustion. You stand at a distance from the very peace you need because you believe worthiness must be earned first. I want you to stop for a moment and listen carefully to me. I never asked you to clean every wound before bringing your heart to me. I never told you to hide your weakness until you could present a polished version of yourself. Yet that is exactly what you keep trying to do. You speak carefully around me. You hide your doubts. You bury your fears beneath controlled words while your spirit quietly struggles underneath. Come closer honestly instead. Bring me the version of you that still feels confused, still feels tired, still feels uncertain about the future. I already know every hidden corner of your life, my child. I know the thoughts you would never say aloud. I know the mistakes that still embarrass you when you remember them. I know how many times you promised yourself you would change faster than you actually did. Yet none of those things made me step away from you. My love was never built on your perfection. If perfection were required before closeness, you would spend your whole life standing outside the door, afraid to enter. Stop delaying your healing because you think you must become worthy enough first. Open your heart now exactly as it is. Let me into the places where guilt still speaks loudly inside your mind. Release the pressure to pretend you have everything together spiritually. You do not need to impress me with performance. I want honesty more than polished appearances. Sit with me in your weakness instead of hiding from me inside shame. There are moments when you feel spiritually distant, and instead of coming toward me, you pull farther away because you feel disappointed in yourself. But that is the very moment I want you to move closer, not farther. Do not run from my presence when your heart feels messy. Run toward me. Let my compassion meet you in the middle of your struggle instead of isolating yourself emotionally. Take a deep breath now and stop carrying the exhausting burden of trying to earn love that I already freely give you. You are not loved because you became flawless. You are loved because you are mine. Stay here with me, my child, and let that truth settle deeply into your spirit. My child, anxiety has spoken over your life for so long that sometimes you mistake it for your personality. You have lived under pressure, fear, uncertainty, and emotional tension until worry began feeling normal to you. Your thoughts race ahead before situations even happen. Your heart prepares for problems before evidence appears. You try to control every possible outcome because deep inside you fear what could happen if something goes wrong unexpectedly. I see how exhausting that cycle has become for you. You carry invisible tension even during ordinary moments. Sometimes your body is resting while your mind keeps running like a machine that refuses to power down. You replay conversations searching for mistakes. You analyze possibilities until small concerns become mountains inside your thoughts. Then you wonder why peace feels so far away from you. Come sit with me now and release the belief that constant worry is simply who you are. Anxiety may have surrounded your thoughts, but it was never meant to become your identity. I know there are reasons you became this way. Certain experiences taught your heart to stay alert. Pain made you cautious. Disappointment made you defensive. Seasons of instability convinced you that if you stopped worrying, life might suddenly collapse around you. But my child, fear has slowly stolen your ability to rest emotionally. It has turned simple moments into emotional battlefields inside your mind. That is not the life I want for you. Bring your anxious thoughts to me honestly instead of fighting them alone in silence. Stop carrying every future possibility as though it already happened. Breathe slowly and let your mind settle for a moment in my presence. You do not need to solve tomorrow tonight. You do not need to predict every painful outcome before life unfolds. Let your spirit unclench from constant fear. I also want you to stop judging yourself harshly because your mind feels overwhelmed sometimes. Anxiety does not make you weak. It means your heart has been carrying too much pressure without enough peace. Speak gently to yourself during these moments instead of becoming frustrated by your struggles. Invite me into the fearful places you keep trying to manage through your own strength alone. Listen carefully now. Your future is not doomed because fear keeps whispering worst-case scenarios to you. Do not bow your life to every anxious thought that enters your mind. Bring those thoughts into my presence and let my peace interrupt them before they grow larger inside you. Stay close to me tonight, my child. Let your breathing slow. Let your shoulders relax. Let your heart learn that safety still exists even after everything you have been through. My child, there was a time when your heart felt lighter than it does now. You did not carry this constant tension inside your chest. You laughed more freely. You trusted more easily. Even difficult days did not drain your spirit the way they do now. But life happened slowly, quietly, layer by layer. Disappointment entered places where innocence once lived. Pain taught you to stay guarded. Pressure stole your ability to relax completely. Without realizing it, you became someone who survives instead of someone who rests. I know you miss peace, even if you rarely admit it aloud. You miss waking up without anxiety already waiting for you. You miss moments when your mind was not racing ahead searching for danger. You miss the feeling of emotional safety, the kind that allows your soul to breathe deeply instead of constantly preparing for bad news. Come closer to me now and stop pretending you no longer need that kind of peace. Your heart still longs for it because I created you to live connected to it. You have spent too much time carrying emotional noise everywhere you go. Even during quiet moments, your thoughts continue moving like restless waves. You replay old pain. You anticipate future disappointment. You analyze conversations long after they ended. Then you wonder why your spirit feels tired before the day is even over. My child, your mind was never designed to become a battlefield every hour of the day. Let me quiet the inner storm that has followed you for so long. Sit with me for a moment and release the pressure to stay emotionally alert all the time. You do not need to scan every situation for hidden pain. You do not need to carry fear into every tomorrow. Open your hands slowly and let your heart unclench from the tension it has been holding for years. Invite my peace into the spaces where worry built its home inside you. I know peace feels unfamiliar to you now because chaos stayed around too long. Sometimes when life finally becomes quiet, your mind searches for problems because struggle became normal. But listen carefully to me. You do not have to remain trapped inside emotional survival forever. Let your soul relearn what calm feels like. Let yourself breathe without guilt. Let yourself experience joy without immediately expecting it to disappear. I am not asking you to ignore reality or pretend life never hurts. I am asking you to stop surrendering your peace to fear before anything even happens. Stay near me tonight, my child. Rest your thoughts in my presence instead of exhausting yourself trying to control every possibility. Peace is not gone from your life forever. I am still leading your heart back toward it. My child, as I lead your heart back toward peace, I am also calling my people to help carry this refuge to others whose minds have become exhausted by fear and anxiety. There are souls listening tonight who have forgotten what rest even feels like, and this message is becoming a doorway through which my peace can finally enter their lives again. Every offering you release through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal becomes like fresh manna placed into the hands of weary travelers searching for hope in a restless world. I told you in my word that I would keep in perfect peace the one whose mind stays fixed on me, and I am still honoring that promise today. When you sow into spreading my voice, You are helping quiet storms inside hearts you may never meet until eternity reveals what your obedience accomplished. I will not overlook the generosity of those who respond when I move upon their spirit, and I will surround them with favor, wisdom, protection, and unexpected breakthroughs in difficult seasons. Do not delay when my presence is speaking to you now. Support this mission immediately through Super Thanks membership, or the PayPal link in the video description, and help my peace reach every heart still trapped in emotional darkness. My child, you have spent too much time looking at other people's lives and quietly feeling like you missed your moment somewhere along the way. You see their progress, their relationships, their success, their confidence, and something inside you begins questioning your own journey. You wonder why certain doors opened for them while your own path feels slower, heavier, and more uncertain. Sometimes you smile for others while privately asking yourself why your life seems delayed compared to everyone around you. I know how discouraging that feeling has become. You expected certain things to happen by now. You imagined a different version of your future when you were younger. You thought healing would come faster. You believed clarity would arrive sooner. Instead, you found yourself walking through seasons that stretched longer than expected, carrying questions you still cannot fully answer. But come closer to me now, and stop measuring your worth against timelines that were never designed specifically for you. Your story was never meant to look identical to someone else's story. I created you with a different path, a different pace, and a different purpose unfolding inside your life. Comparison hath been stealing joy from your spirit while convincing you that delay means failure. But delay and failure are not the same thing, my child. Fruit still grows underground long before anyone sees it above the surface. There are parts of your growth happening quietly that you cannot fully recognize yet. Stop rushing your life because fear tells you everyone else is moving ahead without you. Stop punishing yourself because your journey unfolded differently than expected. You are carrying experiences that shaped wisdom, compassion, resilience, and depth inside you. Some people may move quickly while remaining emotionally unprepared for what they carry. I care more about the condition of your heart than the speed of your timeline. Lift your eyes away from constant comparison now. Release the pressure to prove yourself through endless achievement. Come sit with me and remember that your value was never based on how quickly your life matched someone else's expectations. You are not forgotten because your progress looks slower. You are not abandoned because your story still feels unfinished. Trust me enough to believe that I know where your life is heading even when you cannot fully see it yourself. Certain things required time because your heart needed preparation before receiving them. I protected you through delay you once resented. I guided you through seasons that seemed empty while deeper growth quietly formed inside you. Do not lose hope because your timeline looks different from the people around you. Stay close to me and keep walking forward faithfully. Your life is not late, my child. I am still unfolding your story with purpose, even in the seasons that feel slow. My child, there were moments when you came closer to giving up than anyone around you ever realized. People saw you continue moving through your routines, answering questions, showing up where you needed to be, but they did not see the private exhaustion hiding underneath your strength. They did not hear the conversations happening inside your mind late at night when your heart felt too heavy to carry another day of pressure. I heard every one of those thoughts, even the ones you could not fully put into words. I know there were nights when you sat in silence feeling emotionally empty, wondering how much longer you could continue pretending everything was manageable. Some disappointments cut deeper than you expected. Certain prayers remained unanswered for so long that hope itself started feeling fragile inside you. You smiled through conversations while privately feeling disconnected from joy. You told yourself to stay strong, but deep inside, your spirit felt worn thin like a thread stretched too far. Come closer to me now and stop carrying those hidden battles alone. I was beside you during every moment when your strength nearly collapsed. I saw the tears you wiped away quickly before anyone noticed. I watched you fight thoughts that told you nothing would ever change. Even when your faith felt weak, I remained close to you. You survived those dark moments because I quietly held your heart together when you no longer knew how to hold it yourself. Listen carefully to me now, my child. Your survival was not meaningless. The fact that you are still here matters more than you realize. You walked through emotional storms that could have destroyed your peace completely, yet something inside you kept moving forward even when you felt exhausted beyond explanation. That was not accidental strength. That was my hand sustaining you through seasons you thought might break you permanently. Stop speaking to yourself as though your weariness makes you weak. Stop believing that struggling means you failed spiritually. Pain affects the human heart deeply, and I never expected you to carry suffering without feeling its weight. But I do want you to stop facing those struggles in isolation. Bring your exhaustion honestly into my presence. Release the hopeless thoughts you have been hiding silently inside your mind. Let your spirit breathe again instead of constantly surviving under emotional pressure. Sit with me tonight and allow yourself to feel comfort without resistance. You do not need to prove your toughness anymore. Let my peace reach the tired places inside you that have been running on empty for too long. Stay near me, my child. You are not abandoned in this battle, and you never were. My child, you have spent far too much of your life trying to earn love, approval, peace, and acceptance through performance. Somewhere along the way, you started believing that your value depended on how useful, productive, strong, or successful you could become. You learned to work for affection. You learned to hide weakness because you feared rejection. Even in your relationship with me, part of you quietly believes you must become spiritually impressive before you deserve closeness with me. But listen carefully now and let this truth settle deeply into your heart. You do not need to earn my attention. You do not need to exhaust yourself trying to prove your worth before I care about you. I already see you completely. I already know your struggles, your fears, your inconsistencies, your hidden insecurities, and I have not turned away from you. My love for you was never built on perfect behavior or flawless discipline. Come closer honestly instead of hiding behind performance. Stop speaking to me as though you must impress me with polished words while your heart quietly struggles underneath. Bring me your real emotions. Bring me your confusion, your frustration, your disappointment, your weariness. Let your soul rest from constantly trying to appear strong enough to deserve love. You are already loved, my child, even while unfinished. I know how often you compare yourself to other people. You see their confidence, their discipline, their visible strength, and you quietly feel inadequate beside them. Then shame begins whispering that you are falling short spiritually, emotionally, or personally. But shame has distorted the way you see yourself for too long. I never asked you to become someone else before coming near me. I asked you to come honestly. Stop running from my presence when you feel weak. Run toward me instead. Do not disappear emotionally every time you struggle. Do not isolate yourself because guilt convinces you that you disappointed me beyond repair. I am not standing at a distance waiting for you to become perfect before I welcome you near. I am standing with open arms even now, asking you to stop hiding from the love you have been searching for your entire life. Take a deep breath and release the exhausting pressure to constantly prove yourself. Let your heart rest in the truth that my attention toward you is not temporary or conditional. Sit quietly with me for a while and allow your spirit to receive care without trying to earn it first. Stay close now, my child. You do not need to fight for a place in my heart because you already have one. My child, your heart has been surrounded by noise for so long that silence now feels unfamiliar to you. Every day your mind absorbs endless opinions, endless demands, endless worries, endless distractions. You move from one thought to another without rest. Even during moments when your body becomes still, your spirit continues carrying conversations, pressures, fears, and emotional clutter that never fully settles. I see how crowded your inner world has become, and I do not want you living this way any longer. You were not created to constantly drown in noise. Yet you wake up reaching for distractions before your heart even has a chance to breathe. The voices of the world rush toward you immediately. Youth pressure, comparison, expectations, fear, arguments, endless scrolling, endless thinking. Little by little, all of it begins shaping the atmosphere inside your spirit. Then you wonder why peace feels distant and why your thoughts feel heavy before the day even fully begins. Come closer to me now and step away from the noise for a moment. Let your soul become quiet enough to hear my voice again. I know silence feels uncomfortable sometimes because when everything becomes quiet, emotions rise to the surface that you have been avoiding. Pain speaks louder. Fear becomes noticeable. Loneliness feels harder to ignore. So you keep filling your mind with activity because distraction feels easier than honesty. But constant noise cannot heal what your heart refuses to face. It only delays the healing your spirit desperately needs. Sit with me now without reaching for another distraction. Cut down the pressure to constantly consume more information, more entertainment, more noise. Breathe slowly and let your thoughts settle. Allow yourself to notice what is happening inside you instead of running from it. I am not asking you to disconnect from life completely. I am asking you to stop drowning your soul beneath endless noise that keeps you spiritually exhausted. Your heart needs room to rest. Your spirit needs moments where peace is allowed to enter without interruption. Stop feeding your anxiety every hour with voices that increase fear and confusion inside you. Invite my presence into the silence instead. Let me calm the racing thoughts that have been running wild inside your mind for too long. You do not have to live emotionally overstimulated every single day. Step away from the chaos for a while and sit with me quietly. Let your soul breathe again. Let your spirit remember what calm feels like. Stay near me now, my child. My voice does not compete with chaos. It waits patiently for your heart to become still enough to listen. My child, in a world drowning in noise, I am raising voices that still carry my truth clearly, and your support helps keep this light shining into spiritually exhausted lives. There are people surrounded by confusion, fear, distraction, and hopelessness who are searching desperately for one moment of stillness where they can hear my voice again. Every seed you sow through super thanks, membership, or your PayPal offering becomes fire upon the altar of this mission, pushing back darkness and drawing wandering hearts closer to me. Did I not say that my sheep know my voice? Through your obedience, more souls are recognizing that voice again in the middle of chaos. I see every giver who chooses eternal impact over temporary comfort, and I will breathe fresh strength, protection, and supernatural peace over their household. This is not merely support for a channel. This is participation in a divine assignment unfolding before your eyes. Do not keep scrolling while heaven is calling you to act. So now through super thanks, become a member, or use the PayPal link in the video description and help my voice reach those who are suffocating beneath the noise of this world. My child, somewhere along the road of survival, disappointment, pressure, and emotional exhaustion, you slowly drifted away from parts of yourself that once felt alive. Life demanded so much from you that you became focused on enduring instead of truly living. You adapted to pain. You adjusted to stress. You learned how to function while disconnected from your own heart. Now there are moments when you barely recognize the person you have become emotionally. I know you feel it sometimes. You remember versions of yourself that felt softer, freer, more hopeful. You remember dreams that once excited you before fear and disappointment made your spirit cautious. You remember moments when your laughter came naturally instead of feeling forced. But over time, survival changed you. You built walls to protect yourself from more hurt. You buried emotions because vulnerability became exhausting. You became the strong one, the responsible one, the dependable one, while quietly losing connection with your own soul underneath the weight of it all. Come closer to me now and stop running from the deeper ache inside you. That ache is not weakness. It is your spirit longing to come alive again. You have spent too long becoming who pain demanded instead of remaining connected to who I created you to be. Fear reshaped parts of your personality. Disappointment silenced parts of your joy. Pressure stole pieces of your peace. But listen carefully to me, my child. The real you is not gone forever. I am calling you back to yourself now. Not the version shaped by fear. Not the version trapped inside constant exhaustion. I am calling back the heart inside you that still longs for peace, connection, purpose, and genuine joy. Stop believing that emotional numbness is your permanent identity. Stop convincing yourself that survival is the highest form of living available to you. Sit with me honestly and let your heart breathe again. Release the masks you wear to appear strong all the time. Let yourself feel hope without immediately preparing for disappointment. Open your spirit slowly and allow healing to touch the places where pain reshaped your identity. I know this process feels vulnerable, but do not retreat from it now. You are more than the stress you carry. You are more than the wounds you survived. You are more than the fear that tried to define your future. Stay close to me, my child, and let me guide you back toward the person I always created you to become. My child, there are wounds inside your heart that still ache because you never fully released the people who hurt you. You carried the pain quietly, sometimes pretending it no longer affected you, yet certain memories still return with sharpness. You remember words that cut deeply. You remember betrayals you never expected. You remember moments when people you trusted suddenly became the source of your sorrow. Those experiences changed something inside you, and I know how difficult it became to trust again after that. You tried to move forward while still carrying the emotional weight of what happened. Sometimes you buried the pain beneath busyness. Other times you replayed the memories in silence, wishing things had unfolded differently. But my child, unresolved hurt has a way of quietly poisoning the heart. It drains peace slowly. It hardens emotions. It keeps old pain alive long after the moment itself has passed. That is why I am asking you now to bring those wounds into my presence instead of continuing to carry them alone. Listen carefully to me. Forgiveness does not mean what happened to you was acceptable. It does not erase the damage someone caused. It does not require you to trust harmful people again without wisdom. Forgiveness means releasing your heart from the prison of constantly reliving the injury. Right now, some of your emotional exhaustion comes from carrying anger, grief, disappointment, and resentment all at once. Your spirit cannot fully rest while those wounds remain tightly clenched inside you. Come sit with me now and open the places in your heart you usually avoid. Speak honestly about the people who hurt you. Tell me about the disappointment you still carry. Let your tears rise if they need to. Stop pretending those wounds no longer matter when your spirit still reacts to them quietly. I already know how deeply certain experiences affected you. Then slowly begin loosening your grip on the pain. Release the need to personally carry justice for every wrong done against you. Let me handle what you cannot fix yourself. Your heart was not designed to become a storage room for bitterness. It was created for peace, tenderness, healing, and life again. You may not feel ready instantly, and I understand that. Healing takes time. But do not keep feeding old wounds by replaying them endlessly inside your mind. Invite me into your grief instead of isolating yourself emotionally with it. Stay close to me through the process. Forgiveness is not weakness, my child. Sometimes it is the very doorway through which healing finally begins to enter your life again. My child, there were many moments when you felt completely unseen. You walked through difficult days carrying burdens nobody seemed to notice. You gave your energy, your care, your time, your emotional strength to other people while secretly feeling empty inside yourself. Some nights you sat alone with thoughts too heavy to explain, wondering whether anyone truly understood how much pain you were carrying beneath your calm appearance. I saw every one of those moments clearly. You are not invisible to me. I know the quiet battles you fight behind closed doors. I know the tears that came during moments when nobody else was around to comfort you. I know how often you smiled politely while your heart felt exhausted underneath. There were times you wanted someone to ask how you were really doing instead of assuming you were strong enough to handle everything alone. But even when people overlooked your pain, heaven never ignored it. Come closer to me now and stop believing the lie that your suffering went unnoticed. I counted every sleepless night. I heard every silent prayer whispered through exhaustion. I watched you continue moving forward even when your spirit felt fragile. There were moments when you almost broke emotionally, yet you still kept carrying responsibilities because you believed you had no other choice. My child, I was standing beside you through every one of those hidden struggles. I also know how rejection affected your heart. When people failed to value your kindness, your loyalty, or your love, part of you started questioning your worth. You became quieter emotionally. You stopped expecting people to truly see you. But do not let human blindness convince you that you lack value. The world may overlook gentle hearts sometimes, but I never do. I see beauty inside you that you have forgotten how to recognize in yourself. Sit with me for a moment and let your heart receive this truth deeply. You matter to me beyond words. Your life carries purpose even during seasons that feel ordinary or painful. The compassion you gave others mattered. The tears you cried mattered. The strength it took for you to survive difficult seasons mattered. Nothing about your journey has been wasted or ignored in heaven. Stop treating yourself as though your existence is small or insignificant. Lift your head and breathe deeply now. You are seen. You are known. You are deeply loved even in moments when loneliness tries to convince you otherwise. Stay near me, my child, and let my presence remind your heart that you have never walked through life unnoticed. My child, some of the deepest wounds inside your heart were created by rejection. Not only the obvious moments when someone walked away, but also the quieter forms of rejection that slowly shaped how you see yourself. The unanswered messages, the cold responses, the feeling of giving your heart fully while receiving little in return. Over time, those experiences planted dangerous questions inside you. You began wondering if something about you was unlovable, forgettable, or simply not enough. I know how painful that became. You tried not to let it affect you, but rejection has a way of reaching deeper than words, and changes how you enter relationships. It changes how openly you trust. Sometimes it even changes how you speak to yourself when nobody else is around. You became cautious with your heart because you grew tired of disappointment. You learned how to expect less from people so the hurt would feel smaller when they failed you again. But my child, protecting yourself from pain also slowly distanced you from hope. Come closer to me now and stop measuring your value through the opinions or actions of people who could not fully see your heart. Human beings often reject what they do not understand, what they cannot control, or what they are emotionally unequipped to appreciate. Their inability to value you never reduced your worth in my eyes. Do not allow temporary rejection to become a permanent definition of who you are. I know there were moments when rejection made you feel invisible. You questioned whether your kindness mattered. You questioned whether your love was too much or somehow misplaced. But listen carefully to me now. You are not difficult to love. You are not too broken to be cherished. You are not unwanted simply because certain people failed to stay. Release the burden of trying to prove your worth to those who already decided not to see it. Stop reopening old wounds by replaying rejection inside your thoughts every night. Invite me into the places where abandonment still hurts. Bring me the insecurities those experiences created inside you. Let my voice become louder than the painful memories that keep whispering you are not enough. Sit quietly with me for a moment and allow your heart to receive truth instead of fear. Your value was established long before anyone accepted or rejected you. I formed you with intention, tenderness, and purpose. Nothing another person did can erase that. Stay close to me now, my child. Let your heart heal from the rejection that tried to convince you that you were less valuable than you truly are. My child, just as I am healing hearts wounded by rejection, I am using this message to remind countless forgotten souls that they are still deeply loved by me. Many listening tonight have nearly given up believing their lives matter. Yet one message filled with my presence can pull them back from despair and restore hope inside them again. This is why I place generosity upon the hearts of those who understand the urgency of this hour, because every super thanks, membership, and PayPal offering helps carry my love into places wounded by abandonment and pain. I declared in my word that I would never leave nor forsake my children, and through this mission I am proving that promise to hurting hearts every single day. Your giving becomes like seed planted beside living rivers, producing fruit far beyond what your natural eyes can see right now. I am watching those who respond immediately when I stir compassion inside them, and I will multiply peace, provision, protection, and divine favor over those who sow faithfully into my work. Do not silence the prompting you feel in this moment, because this is a holy invitation to participate in changing lives for eternity. Give now through Super Thanks, become a member, or send your offering through the PayPal link in the video description, and help my love reach every rejected heart still waiting for restoration. My child, you have spent so much time trying to survive that you forgot what it feels like to truly live with peace inside your heart. Every day became about getting through one more responsibility, one more difficult conversation, one more emotional burden, one more exhausting thought. You adapted to pressure so completely that constant tension started feeling normal to you. Even moments meant for rest became filled with worry because your mind no longer knew how to fully relax. I see how survival mode changed you slowly. You stopped expecting joy to stay for long. You became emotionally cautious because disappointment arrived too many times without warning. Your heart learned how to brace for pain before anything even happened. Instead of enjoying the present moment, you kept scanning the future for danger. That constant emotional alertness has exhausted your spirit more than you realize. Come closer to me now and stop carrying life as though every day is a battle you must fight alone. Survival may have helped you endure difficult seasons, but I never intended for survival to become your permanent identity. You were created for more than emotional endurance. You were created for connection, peace, hope, tenderness, and life that breathes deeply instead of constantly trembling with anxiety. I know why your heart became this guarded. Certain experiences taught you that safety could disappear suddenly. Certain losses convinced you to emotionally prepare for disappointment before it arrived. But my child, living this way has drained joy from your spirit little by little. You became so focused on avoiding pain that you stopped allowing yourself to fully experience peace when it appeared. Sit with me for a moment and let your shoulders relax. Stop preparing yourself emotionally for every possible disaster. Stop carrying tomorrow's burdens before tomorrow even begins. Breathe slowly and allow your spirit to rest in my presence instead of remaining trapped inside constant emotional tension. You do not need to solve every future problem tonight. I also want you to stop apologizing for being tired. Anyone carrying this much pressure for this long would feel exhausted. Your weariness does not make you weak. It means your soul needs care, comfort, and restoration. Invite me into the places where fear taught you to survive instead of live. Stay near me now, my child. Let me teach your heart how to feel safe again without constantly expecting pain around every corner. You do not have to remain trapped inside emotional survival forever. There is still peace ahead for you, and I am leading you toward it step by step. My child, there are questions inside your heart that you rarely speak aloud because part of you fears what the answers might reveal. You carry thoughts you hide even during prayer. You wonder why certain doors never opened no matter how hard you tried. You wonder why some wounds stayed painful longer than you expected. You wonder why people you trusted became the source of your heartbreak. Sometimes you even wonder where I was during moments when your spirit felt abandoned and exhausted. I have heard every one of those quiet questions, even the ones you were afraid to admit. You tried to silence those thoughts because you worried they made your faith weak. So instead of speaking honestly, you carried confusion privately. You smiled while uncertainty quietly grew inside you. You kept moving forward externally while inwardly wrestling with disappointment, fear, and emotional fatigue. But come closer to me now and stop hiding your honest heart from me. I am not threatened by your questions. I would rather have your honesty than your silence. I know there were seasons when life stopped making sense to you. You prayed sincerely and still watched situations fall apart. You tried to remain hopeful while carrying emotional pain that seemed endless. Certain losses shook your trust deeply because you never imagined things would unfold that way. My child, I never ignored your suffering during those moments. I stayed beside you even while you struggled to feel my presence clearly. Sit with me now and release the pressure to pretend you understand everything. You are human, and pain naturally creates questions. Stop condemning yourself for feeling confused sometimes. Bring your uncertainty into my presence instead of burying it beneath forced strength. Let your heart speak freely. Tell me where disappointment still lives inside you. Tell me where fear still whispers at night. Open the locked rooms of your spirit that you keep hiding from everyone else. I also want you to stop believing that unanswered questions mean your life lacks purpose. Some things remain unclear because your story is still unfolding. You are trying to understand unfinished chapters while standing in the middle of them. Trust me enough to believe that I can still guide you even when every answer has not arrived yet. Take a deep breath now and let your heart rest from carrying silent confusion alone. You do not need to have perfect understanding before receiving peace. Stay near me, my child. Let this become the place where your questions stop isolating you and start drawing you closer to my presence instead. My child, I know there are moments when your future feels heavy in your mind. You think about tomorrow and immediately feel uncertainty instead of excitement. Past disappointments taught you to expect more pain than peace, so now your thoughts naturally lean toward fear whenever you imagine what lies ahead. You quietly wonder whether things will ever truly improve or whether life will continue feeling emotionally exhausting year after year. I know those fears live inside you more deeply than most people realize. There were dreams you once carried with confidence that now feel distant or fragile. Certain setbacks discourage your heart so strongly that hope became difficult to maintain. You started preparing yourself emotionally for disappointment before new opportunities even arrived. Part of you believes expecting less will protect you from future pain. But my child, hopelessness has slowly been draining strength from your spirit while pretending to keep you safe. Come closer to me now and stop staring at your future through the lens of old wounds alone. Your past pain does not have the authority to permanently define what your tomorrow will become. I know you cannot yet see the full picture of what I am preparing beyond this difficult season. Right now you only see unfinished pieces, delayed answers, and uncertain roads. But I am still working in places your eyes cannot fully recognize yet. I want you to loosen your grip on the belief that your life will always feel this heavy. Stop speaking hopelessness over your future every time fear rises inside your thoughts. Stop rehearsing failure before new beginnings even have a chance to unfold. Your heart became tired from carrying too much disappointment for too long, but exhaustion is not the final chapter of your story. Sit with me quietly for a moment and let your breathing slow. Allow hope to return little by little instead of pushing it away immediately. Invite me into the anxious thoughts you carry about tomorrow. Let me steady your spirit when fear starts building worst-case scenarios inside your mind again. You do not need to figure out your entire future tonight. You only need enough trust to keep walking forward with me one step at a time. Listen carefully now. There are still beautiful moments waiting ahead of you that you cannot currently imagine. There is still healing your heart has not fully experienced yet. There is still peace that will find you again after this weary season passes. Stay close to me, my child. Your future is not hopeless, and your story is far from over. My child, you have spent so much of your life striving that you no longer remember how to truly rest without guilt. Even when your body slows down, your mind keeps working. You think about unfinished responsibilities, future problems, conversations that still bother you, and expectations you feel pressured to meet. You carry emotional weight into every room because part of you believes that if you stop pushing yourself for even a moment, everything around you may begin falling apart. I see how exhausting that has become for your spirit. You were never created to live under constant pressure. Yet you keep treating your worth as something that must be earned through endless effort. You push yourself beyond emotional limits and then criticize yourself for feeling tired afterward. You expect your heart to continue functioning perfectly while carrying stress that would overwhelm anyone. Come closer to me now and stop demanding so much from yourself every single day. Sit quietly with me for a moment and let your spirit breathe again. I know why striving became your habit. Somewhere along the way, you started believing rest meant weakness. You feared slowing down because silence often brought hidden emotions to the surface. So you stayed busy. You focused on responsibilities. You distracted yourself with constant movement because facing your exhaustion felt uncomfortable. But my child, constantly running from your weariness will never heal it. Your soul needs care, not endless pressure. Listen carefully to me now. You do not need to carry tomorrow before tomorrow arrives. You do not need to solve every problem tonight. Release the pressure to control every outcome through your own strength alone. Some burdens became heavy because you were never meant to carry them without me. Open your hands slowly and let go of the constant need to prove yourself through productivity. I want you to stop measuring your value by how much you accomplish. Your worth does not disappear when you rest. Your identity is not built on exhaustion. Sit with me in stillness and allow your nervous heart to settle. Let your breathing slow. Let your thoughts quiet down for a moment instead of constantly preparing for the next crisis. You have been surviving on emotional adrenaline for too long, and your spirit is weary because of it. Invite my peace into the anxious places inside you that feel responsible for everything. Trust me enough to pause without fear. Stay near me now, my child. Rest is not something you must earn after destroying yourself. It is something your soul desperately needs in order to heal and live again. My child, as you begin releasing the burden of endless striving, do not ignore the assignment I am placing before you right now. There are weary souls wandering through darkness who desperately need the same reminder that rest, healing, and peace are still available to them through me. Every time you sow into this mission through super thanks, membership, or PayPal, you become part of the river I use to carry my voice into broken hearts across the earth. Did I not tell you, come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest? I am still speaking those words over my children today. The seed you release today will become oil in another person's midnight season, fire in someone's fading faith, and manna for hearts starving for hope. I see every act of obedience, and I will multiply what is placed into my hands with favor, protection, and provision that cannot be explained by human strength alone. Do not delay this divine moment. Support this mission now through super thanks. Become a member or give through the PayPal link in the video description and help my word reach the ones crying out for me tonight. My child, you have carried unrealistic expectations for yourself for far too long. You expect your healing to happen quickly. You expect your emotions to remain steady all the time. You expect yourself to move through pain without struggling, without setbacks, without moments of weakness. Then when your heart reacts honestly to difficult experiences, you become frustrated with yourself for not handling everything perfectly. I see the pressure you quietly place on your own soul every single day. You became harsh toward yourself because somewhere inside you started believing that struggling meant failure. When sadness returned unexpectedly, you criticized yourself for not being stronger. When fear rose again, you questioned whether you had truly healed at all. When exhaustion overwhelmed you, you treated yourself like a disappointment instead of someone carrying deep emotional weight. But come closer to me now and listen carefully. You are human, my child. Pain affects human hearts. Healing takes time. Emotional recovery is not a straight line. I know there are moments when you feel discouraged because certain wounds still hurt even after all this time. You thought you would be farther along by now emotionally. You thought peace would come easier. But healing does not always move in predictable ways. Some days you feel strong. Other days old memories suddenly reopen emotions you thought had already faded. That does not mean you are broken beyond repair. It means your heart is still processing experiences that deeply affected you. Stop attacking yourself every time you struggle emotionally. Stop expecting yourself to function like a machine that never becomes overwhelmed. Your tears do not make you weak. Your fear does not make you a failure. Your exhaustion does not make you unworthy of love or peace. Sit with me honestly instead of hiding behind impossible expectations. Let your spirit rest from constant self-judgment. I also want you to stop comparing your healing journey to other people. You cannot see the private battles others carry inside them. Focus instead on allowing your own heart the compassion you freely give everyone else. Speak gently to yourself during difficult moments. Breathe slowly when emotions rise unexpectedly. Invite me into your healing process instead of trying to force yourself into perfection through pressure. Listen closely now. I am not disappointed in you because you are still healing. I am not frustrated because your heart still carries tenderness and pain. Stay close to me through the messy parts of recovery, my child. You do not need to punish yourself for being human while learning how to heal. My child, part of the discomfort you feel lately comes from the fact that your spirit no longer fits comfortably in certain places, conversations, and environments that once felt familiar to you. You keep trying to force yourself to remain connected to spaces that quietly drain your peace, and your heart has been growing weary because of it. There are relationships that no longer nourish your soul. There are patterns that no longer align with the person you are becoming. Deep inside, you already feel this shift happening, even if you cannot fully explain it yet. You notice it during conversations that suddenly leave you emotionally exhausted instead of fulfilled. You notice it when certain habits no longer bring the comfort they once did. You notice it when your spirit feels unsettled after spending time around negativity, dishonesty, constant chaos, or emotional emptiness. My child, this discomfort is not always confusion. Sometimes it is growth. Sometimes your soul begins pulling away from things that can no longer support where I am leading you next. Come closer to me now and stop forcing yourself to remain where your spirit can no longer breathe freely. You have spent too much time shrinking your heart to fit environments that no longer bring life into you. You keep tolerating emotional heaviness because part of you fears change, fears loneliness, or fears disappointing people. But holding on to unhealthy connections simply because they are familiar will continue draining your peace little by little. I know transitions feel uncomfortable. Outgrowing certain spaces often comes with grief because you remember what those places or people once meant to you. You do not want to seem distant or cold. But listen carefully to me now. Growth sometimes requires separation from environments that keep your spirit emotionally stuck. That does not mean you stop loving people. It means you stop allowing unhealthy atmospheres to shape your inner world. Sit quietly with me for a moment and pay attention to what your spirit has been trying to tell you. Notice which places leave your heart heavy after you leave them. Notice which conversations increase fear, anxiety, bitterness, or emotional exhaustion inside you. Then invite me into those areas honestly. Ask me for wisdom instead of forcing yourself to remain where peace keeps disappearing. You not be afraid to move toward healthier ground, my child. You are not betraying your past by allowing yourself to grow beyond it. Stay close to me during this season of change. I will guide you gently as you learn how to protect your peace without hardening your heart. My child, the way you see yourself has been wounded by more experiences than you realize. Words spoken over you years ago still echo quietly inside your thoughts. Rejection shaped your confidence. Disappointment changed how you measure your worth. Over time, you began seeing yourself through the lens of failure, insecurity, and fear instead of truth. Even when good things happen in your life, part of you struggles to fully believe you deserve them because your inner voice has become so critical and harsh. I see the way you minimize your strengths while magnifying your flaws. I hear the thoughts you carry privately about yourself. You focus on where you fell short. You replay mistakes repeatedly. You compare your life, your appearance, your progress, your personality, and your journey against other people until discouragement settles deeply into your spirit. My child, you have been speaking to yourself with a cruelty I never used toward you. Come sit with me now and let me show you something different. You are not the failure your fear keeps describing. You are not defined by your weakest moments. You are not less valuable because you struggled emotionally, made mistakes, or walked through painful seasons. I see resilience in you. I see tenderness in you. I see strength that survived storms you thought might destroy you completely. But because pain shaped your self-image for so long, you have difficulty recognizing your own beauty and worth clearly anymore. I want you to stop agreeing with every negative thought that enters your mind about yourself. Stop treating self-hatred as humility. Stop assuming criticism will somehow make you stronger. Your heart needs compassion while healing, not constant punishment. Open your spirit and allow my voice to interrupt the lies you have repeated to yourself for years. Look at yourself with gentleness for a moment. Notice how much you have survived already. Notice how many difficult seasons you endured without completely giving up. Notice the kindness you still carry despite the hurt you experienced. Those things matter deeply, my child. Invite me into the broken places where insecurity still controls how you see yourself. Let me rebuild your confidence slowly with truth instead of fear. You do not need to become someone else before you deserve love, peace, or belonging. Stay close to me now and let your healing include the way you speak to your own heart. My child, one of the heaviest burdens you carry is the belief that your past permanently disqualified you from peace, joy, or a meaningful future. You look back at mistakes, broken seasons, failed relationships, missed opportunities, and painful choices, then quietly decide that certain doors can never open for you again. Even when hope tries to rise inside your heart, shame quickly steps in and reminds you of everything that went wrong before. I see how trapped you sometimes feel inside old versions of yourself. You have spent too much time replaying moments you wish you could undo. Certain memories still follow you into quiet nights. You wonder how life might look if you had chosen differently, trusted differently, spoken differently, or walked away sooner. But my child, constantly staring backward will slowly convince your spirit that healing is impossible. The past may explain parts of your pain, but it does not own your future unless you keep surrendering your heart to it. Come closer to me now and release the belief that you must remain chained to yesterday forever. You are allowed to begin again. You are allowed to heal after failure. You are allowed to rebuild after loss. Stop treating your past mistakes as though they are stronger than my ability to restore your life. Sit with me honestly and let your exhausted heart loosen its grip on shame. I know starting again feels frightening sometimes. Part of you fears disappointment repeating itself. Part of you worries that hope will only lead to more heartbreak. But staying trapped inside old regret will not protect you from pain. It will only keep your spirit emotionally frozen while life continues moving forward around you. I do not want you imprisoned by memories that I am already trying to heal. Take a deep breath now and stop defining yourself by the worst chapter of your story. Your life is larger than your failures. Your identity is deeper than your regrets. There is still goodness ahead of you, even if your heart struggles to believe it fully right now. Open your hands slowly and surrender the shame you keep carrying like a punishment. Invite me into the broken places where regret still controls your thoughts. Let me remind your spirit that mercy still exists for you. Stay close to me during this new beginning, my child. You do not need to have everything figured out before taking your next step forward. Healing often begins the moment you finally believe you are still allowed to hope again. My child, as you step into the grace of beginning again, understand that there are countless others still trapped in shame, believing their story ended in failure. I am calling you now to help carry this message of restoration to the hearts that are silently losing hope. Every gift you sow through super thanks, membership, or PayPal becomes a seed planted into wounded lives that are waiting for my light to break through their darkness. Have I not said, behold, I am making all things new? Those words are not distant promises. They are living truth moving through this very message right now. When you give, you help open doors for healing, strengthen weary souls, and spread the fire of my mercy farther than you can currently see. And I tell you this, the hand that releases generously in faith will not return empty, for I am able to pour back blessings pressed down, shaken together, and overflowing into your life. This is not coincidence. This is a divine appointment placed before you at this very moment. Act now. Send your support through super thanks, become a member, or give through the PayPal link in the video description, and help another lost heart discover that hope still belongs to them. My child, even during the seasons when you drifted far from me emotionally, I never stopped reaching toward your heart. There were moments when you felt disconnected spiritually, tired of praying, tired of hoping, tired of trying to understand why life felt so heavy. You became distracted by pressure, responsibilities, pain, and disappointment, and little by little, you stopped noticing how often I was still trying to speak gently into your life. But my presence never disappeared from you. I reached for you in quiet moments when your spirit suddenly felt unsettled for reasons you could not explain. I reached for you through conversations that touched your heart unexpectedly. I reached for you during sleepless nights when your thoughts became honest and vulnerable. There were times you almost gave up emotionally, yet something inside you kept searching for hope even when exhaustion filled your mind. My child, that was not accidental. I was still drawing near to you even when you felt spiritually distant. Come sit with me now and stop believing the lie that you wandered too far for me to find you again. I saw every moment of confusion. I saw every struggle you tried to hide behind distractions. I knew when your heart became tired and emotionally numb. Yet none of those things made me turn away from you. My love for you did not disappear because your faith became weak or your emotions became complicated. I know there were seasons when you stopped expecting me to answer. You carried disappointment quietly because unanswered prayers made your heart cautious. Part of you wanted closeness with me again, but another part feared being hurt by silence. So you stayed emotionally distant while secretly longing for peace at the same time. But listen carefully now. I never stopped pursuing your heart with patience and tenderness. Open your spirit again, my child. Let down the walls disappointment built inside you. Stop running from my presence every time fear, guilt, or confusion rises inside your thoughts. Bring those struggles closer to me instead of farther away. Sit honestly with me and allow your heart to feel my nearness again. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are not too far gone for restoration. Stay close to me now and let this moment become the beginning of renewed connection instead of continued distance. I have been reaching for you all along, and I am still reaching for you now. My child, so much of your exhaustion comes from trying to control things that were never fully yours to carry. You keep holding your future with tight hands because fear tells you that if you loosen your grip, everything around you may suddenly fall apart. You analyze every possible outcome. You rehearse conversations before they happen. You prepare yourself emotionally for situations that may never even occur. Your mind rarely rests because part of you believes constant vigilance is the only way to stay safe. I understand why control became comforting to you. Certain moments in your life felt unpredictable and painful. Trust was broken unexpectedly. Plans changed suddenly. Stability disappeared without warning. Those experiences taught your heart to stay alert at all times. You began believing that if you could think far enough ahead, prepare carefully enough, or manage every detail closely enough, you might protect yourself from future pain. But my child, control has slowly become a burden that is crushing your peace instead of protecting it. Come sit with me now and release the pressure to carry everything alone. You were never meant to manage every outcome through your own strength. Some of the anxiety inside you exists because you are fighting battles that belong in my hands, not yours. Breathe deeply and let your shoulders relax for a moment. Stop trying to force certainty into every part of your future. I know surrender feels uncomfortable for you because uncertainty feels dangerous. But trust cannot grow while your hands remain tightly clenched around everything. You cannot receive peace while constantly trying to control every detail of tomorrow. Open your heart slowly and allow yourself to believe that I can guide your life even when you cannot see every step ahead clearly. Stop exhausting yourself by carrying imagined disasters before they happen. Stop replaying worst-case scenarios in your mind every night. Invite me into the fears underneath your need for control. Speak honestly about what scares you. Let your spirit rest from constant emotional tension. Listen carefully now, my child. Releasing control does not mean giving up responsibility. It means letting go of the impossible burden of trying to guarantee every outcome yourself. Trust me enough to breathe without fear controlling every thought. Trust me enough to move forward without demanding perfect certainty first. Stay close to me now, and let your weary heart rest from carrying the entire future on its shoulders. You do not need to hold everything together alone anymore. I am already walking beside you through every uncertain road ahead. My child, healing cannot fully enter the places you keep hiding from yourself. You have become skilled at avoiding certain emotions because facing them feels uncomfortable, vulnerable, and exhausting. Sometimes you distract yourself with busyness. Other times you convince yourself that old pain no longer affects you, even while your reactions quietly reveal otherwise. Deep inside, there are wounds you still carry that need honesty before they can truly begin healing. I know why you avoid certain feelings. Some memories still hurt when they rise unexpectedly. Certain disappointments still tighten your chest when you think about them for too long. You fear that if you fully face your grief, anger, loneliness, or fear, the emotions might overwhelm you completely. So instead, you keep moving forward while quietly carrying unresolved pain beneath the surface. But my child, hidden wounds still influence the heart even when ignored. Come closer to me now and stop pretending everything inside you is fine when your spirit is still aching in certain places. I am not asking you to collapse under the weight of your emotions. I am asking you to become honest enough to stop hiding from them. Sit quietly with me and allow your heart to tell the truth about what still hurts. Speak openly about the fears you bury. Admit where exhaustion has drained your hope. Let your tears come if they need to. You do not need to appear emotionally strong every second in my presence. I already know the areas where pain still lives inside you. I know the disappointments you replay privately. I know the wounds connected to rejection, abandonment, failure, betrayal, and regret. Yet you keep trying to heal while refusing to fully acknowledge how deeply those experiences affected you. Healing requires honesty, my child. Not performance. Not denial. Not pretending. Stop minimizing your pain just because others may not understand. Stop telling yourself you should already be over things that genuinely wounded your heart. Invite me into the broken areas you usually keep guarded behind emotional walls. Let my presence meet you in truth instead of in masks. Listen carefully now. You are safe with me. You do not need to fear honesty in my presence. I will not shame you for your wounds. I will not reject you because certain emotions still feel unresolved. Stay near me now and allow your healing journey to become real, not hidden. The moment you stop running from your pain is often the moment restoration finally begins moving deeply inside your soul. My child, I know there are days when it feels like nothing is changing. You pray, you wait, you try to stay hopeful, yet your circumstances often appear exactly the same. Because of that, discouragement has slowly settled into your heart. You wonder whether your efforts matter anymore. You question whether healing is truly happening or if you are simply surviving one exhausting season after another. But listen carefully to me now. Just because you cannot yet see movement does not mean nothing is happening beneath the surface of your life. Some of the deepest transformations begin quietly. Seeds grow underground long before anyone sees life breaking through the soil. In the same way, I have been working in hidden places you cannot fully recognize yet. I have been strengthening parts of your heart that used to collapse under pressure. I have been teaching you wisdom through experiences that once only felt painful. I have been preparing you emotionally for blessings that require a steadier spirit than you had before. You not mistake slow progress for absence. Come closer to me now and stop allowing discouragement to define your perspective. You are more exhausted than defeated. There is a difference. Your heart became weary because the waiting lasted longer than expected, not because your future disappeared. I know how tempting it feels to give up when answers seem delayed. I know how easy it becomes to assume nothing good is ahead when you cannot yet see visible change. But my child, some breakthroughs arrive quietly before they arrive publicly. Sit with me for a moment and release the hopeless thoughts you have been carrying. Stop speaking failure over your future before your story has even unfolded completely. Breathe deeply and let your spirit settle. You do not need to force everything into place through fear and panic. Trust me enough to believe that unseen progress still matters. I also want you to stop overlooking how far you have already come. There were seasons that nearly destroyed your peace completely, yet you are still standing. You are still seeking healing. You are still listening for my voice. That matters more than you realize. Growth often feels invisible while it is happening because it develops slowly inside the heart before it changes outward circumstances. Stay close to me now, my child. Do not walk away from hope simply because the process feels longer than expected. Keep moving forward one step at a time. Keep bringing your weary heart back into my presence. You are closer to healing, clarity, and restoration than your fear currently allows you to believe. My child, if this message has strengthened your spirit, then understand that I desire this same breakthrough to reach thousands more who are secretly hanging on by a thread tonight. Some are praying for one sign not to give up, and I am using this mission as part of the answer to their cries. Every offering sown through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal becomes living water flowing into dry and weary places where hope has almost died. Remember when I said, "Do not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time you will reap a harvest if you do not give up." That harvest is already beginning to rise beneath the surface. Your generosity helps keep this light burning, this oil flowing, and this prophetic word reaching souls before discouragement consumes them completely. I will honor the ones who move in obedience during moments like this, and I will surround their lives with favor, provision, and unexpected peace. Do not treat this invitation lightly, for heaven sees every seed released with faith and compassion. Support this mission now through Super Thanks. Become a member, or give through the PayPal link in the video description, and help carry my voice to the weary hearts still waiting for breakthrough. My child, you have spent too much time trying to appear spiritually strong while secretly feeling exhausted inside. You learned how to say the right words, maintain the right appearance, and continue functioning even during seasons when your heart felt disconnected and weary. Somewhere along the way, you began treating your relationship with me like something you had to manage carefully instead of a place where you could rest honestly. But I never asked you for performance. I asked for your heart. I see how often you hide behind outward strength because vulnerability feels uncomfortable. You fear disappointing people. You fear appearing weak. Sometimes you even fear disappointing me. So instead of bringing me your honest emotions, you try to present a controlled version of yourself that looks calm, faithful, and steady on the surface while your spirit quietly struggles underneath. But my child, pretending does not heal the soul. Hidden exhaustion still remains exhaustion. Come sit with me now and stop trying to impress me with perfection. I already know the real condition of your heart. I know when fear keeps you awake at night. I know when disappointment quietly drains your hope. I know when your faith feels tired and your thoughts become heavy. None of those things make me pull away from you. I move closer when your heart becomes honest. I do not want polished words without truth behind them. Speak freely with me instead. Tell me when you feel confused. Tell me when you feel discouraged. Tell me when your spirit feels weary and emotionally distant. Open the guarded places inside you instead of hiding behind religious performance or emotional masks. I'm not asking you to become flawless before coming near me. I am asking you to trust me enough to be real. Stop exhausting yourself trying to maintain appearances while your inner world quietly struggles for peace. Your soul was never meant to survive on pretending. Let your walls come down slowly in my presence. Breathe deeply and release the pressure to always appear strong. You do not need to earn closeness with me through performance. Listen carefully now, my child. I care more about honest connection than perfect behavior. I would rather sit with your truthful tears than your forced smiles. Stay close to me and let this become the place where your spirit no longer feels the need to hide. Bring me your real heart and let healing begin there. My child, I know there are moments when peace feels so far away that you wonder whether your heart will ever truly rest again. You have carried stress for so long that calmness almost feels unfamiliar now. Even during quiet moments, your thoughts continue moving, searching for problems, preparing for disappointment, bracing for bad news before anything has even happened. Your spirit became tired from constantly expecting life to hurt you again. I understand why your heart feels this way, but I do not want you believing that anxiety and heaviness are your permanent future. You have walked through seasons that deeply affected your inner world. Certain experiences shook your sense of safety. Certain losses left emotional scars that still ache unexpectedly. Since then, your mind has struggled to fully relax because part of you fears peace may disappear the moment you finally allow yourself to feel it. So instead of resting, you stay emotionally guarded. You carry invisible tension into every day, and little by little, it has exhausted your soul. Come sit with me now, and let your breathing slow. Stop preparing yourself for disaster every moment of the day. Stop rehearsing painful possibilities before tomorrow even arrives. You were not created to live trapped inside constant emotional fear. Peace is not weakness, my child. Peace is not denial. It is the ability to rest your heart in my presence even while life remains uncertain around you. I know your thoughts become loud at night. I know how easily fear begins building stories inside your mind about what could go wrong. But listen carefully to me now. Your future is not controlled by fear, no matter how convincing anxious thoughts may sound. Invite me into those restless moments instead of fighting them alone. Speak honestly with me when your mind feels overwhelmed. Let my presence interrupt the inner storm before it grows larger inside you. I also want you to stop believing that because peace disappeared for a season, it can never return again. Your weary heart is not beyond restoration. There are still mornings ahead where your spirit will feel lighter than it does now. There are still moments of calm waiting for you beyond this difficult season. Healing takes time, but hopelessness does not tell the truth about your future. Stay close to me now, my child. Let your heart rest here instead of carrying the world on your shoulders tonight. You do not need to force peace through control or fear. Allow me to guide your spirit back towards stillness one step at a time. My child, you often focus so heavily on what still hurts that you forget how much you have already survived. When you look at yourself, you notice your exhaustion, your fears, your struggles, and the parts of your life that still feel unfinished. But I want you to stop for a moment and truly recognize how many storms you already walked through without completely losing your heart. There were seasons you thought would break you emotionally, yet somehow you are still here listening to my voice right now. I remember the nights when you cried quietly because the pressure felt unbearable. I remember the moments when disappointment left you emotionally numb. I remember when fear convinced you that your future was collapsing around you. Some days you carried pain so privately that even the people closest to you never realized how difficult life felt inside your mind. Yet despite everything, You kept moving forward one step at a time. My child, do not overlook the strength it took to survive those hidden battles. Come closer to me now and stop speaking to yourself as though you are weak simply because you became tired. Anyone carrying this much emotional weight would feel weary. Your exhaustion is not proof of failure. It is evidence that you have been fighting difficult battles for a long time. But even during the darkest moments, I never abandoned you. I strengthened your spirit when you thought you had nothing left emotionally. I held you together during seasons when your peace felt fragile and uncertain. I also want you to stop minimizing your resilience. You survived heartbreak that changed how you trusted people. You survived seasons of loneliness that made your spirit ache deeply. You survived disappointment, fear, rejection, emotional confusion, and silent struggles nobody else fully understood. Do not overlook the courage it took simply to keep going through those moments. Sit quietly with me now and let your heart acknowledge how far you have already come. Breathe deeply and release the constant pressure to become stronger overnight. Healing is already happening inside you even when progress feels slow. Your survival was not meaningless. Every difficult season shaped wisdom, compassion, endurance, and depth inside your spirit that did not exist before. Stay close to me now, my child. Let hope rise again inside the weary places of your heart. If I carried you through everything behind you, do not believe I will abandon you in the chapters still ahead. You are stronger than your fear allows you to see, and I am still walking beside you through every step forward. My child, you have carried too much by yourself for too long. Somewhere along the way, you convinced yourself that asking for help, needing comfort, or admitting emotional exhaustion would make you weak. So instead of opening your heart honestly, you kept everything inside. You became the person who supports everyone else while quietly neglecting your own pain. You learned how to continue functioning even while your spirit felt overwhelmed underneath. But my child, isolation has slowly been draining your strength more than you realize. I know why you became this guarded. Certain people disappointed you when you needed them most. Some failed to understand your struggles. Others minimized your pain or made you feel like your emotions were too much to carry. After enough disappointment, your heart stopped expecting support and started relying only on itself. You built emotional walls because depending on people began feeling unsafe. But even though isolation protected parts of your heart temporarily, it also increased the loneliness already living inside you. Come closer to me now and release the exhausting belief that you must survive everything alone. You were never designed to carry every burden in silence. Your spirit needs connection, comfort, honesty, and support. Stop treating vulnerability like failure. Stop punishing yourself whenever your heart becomes tired. Sit with me honestly and let your soul breathe instead of constantly pretending you are stronger than you feel. I also want you to stop withdrawing every time pain rises inside you. I know hiding feels easier sometimes. It feels safer to retreat inward than risk misunderstanding again. But healing cannot fully grow in isolation. Open your heart slowly instead of sealing yourself away emotionally from everyone who cares about you. Let trustworthy people stand beside you when life becomes heavy. Let yourself receive care instead of always being the one carrying everyone else. Take a deep breath now and release the pressure to hold your entire world together alone. You do not need to solve every struggle by yourself before resting. Invite me into your loneliness instead of burying it beneath distractions and silence. Let my presence remind your heart that support still exists, even after disappointment. Stay near me now, my child. You are not a burden because you need comfort sometimes. You are human. And humans were never meant to walk through pain completely alone. Let this become the season where you finally stop isolating your heart and begin allowing healing, connection, and peace to enter again. My child, as you release the lie that you must carry everything alone, I am calling you to help lift burdens from others who are silently collapsing under the weight of their pain. There are broken hearts listening right now who feel abandoned, isolated, and forgotten, yet I desire to reach them through this very mission. When you give through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal, you become part of the hands I use to pour comfort, truth, and healing into lives desperate for my presence. Did I not say, carry one another's burdens, and in this way fulfill the law of love? This is your opportunity to step into that calling with obedience and compassion. Every seed you sow becomes like oil poured into wounded spirits, like a lamp shining in lonely places where darkness tried to settle permanently. I will not overlook the generosity of those who help strengthen my work, and I will release peace, covering, and provision over the lives that honor me through their giving. The time to act is now. Support this mission through Super Thanks, become a member, or sow through the PayPal link in the video description, and help another soul realize they are not alone anymore. My child, I know there are moments when you wonder whether you waited too long, drifted too far, or made too many mistakes to fully return to peace again. Shame has whispered to your heart that certain doors are permanently closed now. You look at your past failures, your emotional struggles, your seasons of distance, and quietly assume you missed your chance for restoration somewhere along the way. But listen carefully to me now. The door is still open. I have not shut you up because your faith became tired. I have not turned away because you struggled emotionally or wandered through confusing seasons. I saw every moment when disappointment hardened your heart. I saw every time guilt made you pull away from my presence instead of running toward it. Yet even then, I continued waiting patiently for you with compassion, not rejection. Come closer to me now and stop standing at a distance, because fear tells you that you no longer belong here. You do not need to earn your way back into my love. You do not need to become flawless before approaching me again. Open your heart honestly instead of hiding behind shame. Bring me your regret, your exhaustion, your confusion, and your fear. Sit with me as you are right now, not as the perfected version of yourself you keep trying to become first. I know there are parts of your life you wish looked different by now. Certain choices still ache inside your memory. Certain seasons left you spiritually discouraged and emotionally weary. But my child, your failures never became stronger than my mercy. Your brokenness never frightened me away. Stop treating yourself like someone beyond healing or beyond redemption. Take a deep breath and let your spirit receive this truth fully. It is not too late for peace to return. It is not too late for your heart to heal. It is not too late for closeness with me to grow again. The future in front of you still holds hope, even if shame keeps trying to convince you otherwise. Stop lingering outside the door because guilt made you afraid to enter. Come inside and rest your weary heart here with me. Let your walls come down slowly. Let your spirit breathe again without fear of rejection. Stay near me now, my child. The invitation toward healing, restoration, and peace was never withdrawn from your life. My child, pain has a way of making your future feel smaller than it truly is. After enough disappointment, loss, exhaustion, and emotional struggle, part of you quietly begins believing that your life no longer carries the same meaning it once did. You look at broken plans, delayed dreams, unanswered prayers, and difficult seasons, then wonder whether purpose somehow slipped away from you while you were trying to survive. But listen carefully to me now. Your purpose did not disappear simply because life became painful. I know there were moments when you felt emotionally lost. You questioned what direction your life was moving toward. You watched other people seem confident about their future while your own heart felt uncertain and weary. Some days you kept moving forward without feeling connected to any deeper sense of meaning at all. Yet even during those seasons, I never stopped seeing value inside your life. I never looked at your pain and decided your story was finished. Come closer to me now and stop defining your purpose only through visible success or external achievement. Some of the deepest purpose growing inside you was formed quietly through hardship. The compassion you carry came through suffering. The wisdom you gained came through difficult seasons. The gentleness inside your heart developed because you understand what pain feels like personally. Do not overlook the beauty I have been shaping within you while you focused only on what was lost. I also want you to stop believing that because your journey unfolded differently than expected, it somehow became less meaningful. Your story was never ruined because it became difficult. There are people your life will touch precisely because you understand brokenness, fear, loneliness, and healing in a real way. Your experiences were not wasted, my child. Even the painful chapters carry purpose that you cannot fully see yet. Sit quietly with me for a moment and let hope breathe inside your spirit again. Stop speaking as though your best days are permanently behind you. Open your heart to the possibility that meaningful things still remain ahead. Invite me into the confusion you carry about your future instead of assuming you must figure everything out alone. You are still here for a reason. Your heart still matters. Your life still carries purpose beyond what your current exhaustion allows you to recognize. Stay near me now, my child. Let me guide you gently toward the next chapter instead of remaining trapped inside the fear that your story no longer matters. I am not finished with your life, and neither are you. My child, do not make the mistake of believing the chapter you are living in right now is the final version of your story. I know your heart feels tired. I know certain situations seem unfinished, confusing, and emotionally heavy. Because of that, fear keeps trying to convince you that nothing will ever truly change. But your story is still unfolding, even during the moments when progress feels invisible to you. You are standing inside a season, not at the end of your life. There are still experiences ahead of you that your heart cannot fully imagine yet. There are still prayers that will be answered in ways you do not currently expect. There are still moments of healing, peace, love, clarity, and restoration waiting farther down the road. But when exhaustion fills your spirit, it becomes difficult to believe anything beautiful still remains ahead. I understand that struggle deeply. Come sit with me now and release the hopeless thoughts that keep speaking finality over temporary pain. Stop deciding your future based only on what your current emotions feel today. Pain narrows your vision, my child. It makes difficult seasons feel permanent even when they are not. But I can see beyond the chapter you are standing in right now, and I need you to trust me enough to keep walking forward. I know there were moments when disappointment almost convinced you to stop hoping altogether. You grew weary from waiting. You became discouraged from unanswered questions. Yet despite everything, your story kept moving because I continued holding you through every difficult season behind you. I have not carried you this far only to abandon you now. Take a deep breath and let your heart soften toward the future again. Stop treating yourself like someone whose life has already reached its best moments. There is still growth ahead of you. There is still peace ahead of you. There are still connections, opportunities, and healing experiences you have not encountered yet. Invite me into your uncertainty instead of allowing fear to write conclusions that I never spoke over your life. Trust me enough to believe that unfinished does not mean hopeless. Stay near me now, my child. Keep walking with me one day at a time. I am still writing your story carefully, lovingly, and intentionally, even in the chapters that currently feel difficult to understand. My child, After everything you have carried, everything you have survived, and every silent battle you fought inside your heart, I need you to hear me clearly now. Do not walk away from this moment unchanged. Do not return immediately to the noise, fear, pressure, and emotional exhaustion that kept your spirit restless for so long without first allowing these words to settle deeply inside you. I brought you here because your heart needed reminding that you were never abandoned, never forgotten, and never beyond healing. The world around you will continue pulling at your attention every single day. Fear will still try speaking loudly into your thoughts. Disappointment will still attempt to convince you that hope is dangerous. Some mornings you may still wake up feeling emotionally tired before the day even begins. But stay close to me through all of it, my child. Do not retreat back into isolation every time life becomes difficult. Do not bury your emotions beneath distractions again. Come toward me instead. Sit with me daily, even when your thoughts feel messy and your emotions feel heavy. Speak honestly with me instead of pretending you are always strong. Invite me into your anxiety before it grows into overwhelming fear. Invite me into your loneliness before it becomes emotional numbness. Invite me into your decisions, your relationships, your future, your hidden wounds, and the quiet places inside you that still need healing. Stop carrying your life as though you must survive it alone. I know there will still be difficult days ahead. Healing does not happen all at once. Some wounds will take time to fully loosen their grip on your heart. But do not lose hope when the process feels slow. Stay near me through every step. Let my presence become the place your spirit returns to instead of running toward fear, control, or hopelessness whenever pain rises again. Take a deep breath now, and let your heart rest here for a moment longer. You do not need to have every answer tonight. You do not need to solve your entire future before peace can begin returning to your soul. Trust me enough to walk one day at a time with open hands instead of clenched fear. And remember this, my child. Your story is not ending in brokenness. Your exhaustion is not permanent. Your life still carries purpose, healing, and beauty ahead of you, even if you cannot fully see it yet. Stay close to me now. Keep listening for my voice above the noise around you. Let my love steady your heart when fear tries to pull you backward again. I am still with you, still guiding you, still restoring you, and I will not leave your side. My child, now that you have heard my voice speaking into your exhaustion, your healing, your loneliness, and your future, do not close this moment without responding to what I am placing on your heart. There are still multitudes wandering through fear, confusion, and spiritual darkness who need this message before hopelessness overtakes them completely. I am calling willing hearts to help spread this living word farther, faster, and deeper into the lives of those crying out for me in secret. Every act of giving through super thanks, membership, or PayPal becomes a flame carried into dark places, a river flowing through dry ground, and a harvest seed planted into eternity itself. Have I not declared, "Give, and it will be given unto you"? I am still watching over every obedient seed, and I will cause favor, protection, open doors, and supernatural provision to follow those who move when I prompt their hearts. This is more than support for a channel. This is participation in the work of restoring weary souls before it is too late. Do not ignore this divine invitation placed before you tonight. Act now through super thanks, become a member, or sow through the PayPal link in the video description, and help carry my voice to the nations while there is still time. My child, there are people around you carrying silent battles very similar to the ones I spoke to in your heart today. If these words brought peace, clarity, or comfort into your spirit, consider sharing this message with at least 3 people you care about. You never know when a small act of love can become the very reminder someone needed to keep holding on and come closer to me again. Before you leave this moment, I want you to do something bold and personal. In the comments, declare, "I will not ignore heaven's call." Let those words become a turning point for your heart, not just a sentence you type. And if this message spoke directly into your spirit, stay close and let your voice become part of the light that reminds others they are not forgotten, abandoned, or alone. My child, you were not brought here by accident. If you felt my presence speaking directly into your heart today, subscribe and continue walking with me through these messages meant to strengthen you when life feels heavy and uncertain. I still have more to reveal to you, more healing to pour into you, and more peace waiting for your spirit in the days ahead. Amen.